Alright. This, I mean, again, it's colorless. It doesn't exactly take that much to assemble a strategy like this. A lot of what this card is trying to do is a little self-evident, so because you're colorless, you don't have really any kind of options to make your deck out of, but anyways, we're here with Tezzeret, Cruel Captain, 3 mana, 4 loyalty. When an artifact enters, you put a loyalty counter on it. The artifact you control enters. It has a 0 that untaps an artifact or a creature. If it was a creature, you put a counter on it. It has a -3, which finds an artifact that's 1 or less. And that essentially, for the most part, is kind of a -2, because you can sort of just put into play whatever you just found, right? So it's sort of a -2. And then the -7 is you get an emblem with the beginning of your combat, put 3 counters on an artifact. If it's not a creature, it becomes a creature. So you can animate your artifacts to 3/3s. You can blitz this ultimate extremely fast. It is very easy to do it. That doesn't mean it's good. I don't think it's good. Every time I played against it, it got destroyed. I think this is probably one of the weakest commanders in the game. And one of the weakest, therefore one of the weakest commanders in the new set as well. Although, there's actually not a lot of new commanders. Fortunately for us free-to-play enjoyers who don't have a bunch of mythics. So, my primary goal is to win a single game that involves this card, and I didn't just simply win with, like, Emrakul or something. I'd like to try to actually win with this card. Feels nigh impossible, but sometimes it happens, right? With Ancient Tomb, anything's possible. Gemstone, strip mining your opponent. So there's ways to, maybe have that happen. There are a handful of cards I see played quite a bit with this commander that I would never play. I don't care how much it synergizes with my commander. One of them is Arcane Signet. It just doesn't tap for anything at all. I just would not play anything like Arcane Signet. I don't know why anyone really would play something like Arcane Signet. You can't have it tap for colorless. Same with the Mox. Both Mox, while they are 0 mana, actually all 3 Mox, you can play these as 0 mana cards simply for this. To me, that is unbelievably terrible, right? Like, this is not worth it in any capacity to simply make this faster and also race to the ultimate that you now made like a weird 0 mana 3/3. Like, it just makes no sense to me. So I would not recommend those cards. What else? Let's see. We do have another Forsaken Monument now, right? We got this thing. That's really nice, and obviously Ancient Tomb and all that jazz, really nice. Probably can get away with Ujin's Labyrinth. There's also Eldrazi Temple now, that is now in the game. I don't own it. I think it's a mythic, because all the space lands are... Oh, no, it's a rare. Oh, it is a rare. Okay, alright. I can craft it. I don't have a ton of Eldrazi, but this is a card to think about, right? When you have any kind of Eldrazi in your deck. I think it's the most predominant creature type. It is, so I can always find it with my favorite card of all time. Faceless Agent always finds an Eldrazi, although sometimes it hits Glaring Fleshraker, which I can't say I'm upset with either. But yeah, this is nice. But Eldrazi Temple does discount your Eldrazi. That is kind of significant. It's probably more so if one of them is actually your commander. Especially if you're running Ujin's Labyrinth and you put one of your Eldrazi under it, then, well, So it's something to think about, but I'm probably not going to craft it right now. I'm not sold that I want to do that. Yeah, I do have some zeros. Indestructible things work with this, so if I animate this card, it's now a 3/3 indestructible. You can target the same thing multiple times, then suddenly you have a 6/6 indestructible, and then a 9/9 indestructible, and all that jazz. Same with these. So that's actually the only reason I'm playing these. There could be a huge issue with just creatures. I don't actually have a lot of creatures. I could definitely go in that direction. There's not a lot of options, and there's certainly not a lot of good options. But if I have to continuously defend Tezzeret from just getting smacked in the face, then we're in dire straits if we weren't already. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's let's try to win one game with it. Yeah, I'm gonna concede. That's just beyond stupid. All right, we've lost. Cool. 1 into 3 on the play. Oh. I said we weren't playing against green, and then we lost to double ramp spell. Can't keep that. Iron Crag is good. Haven't quite done the busted thing yet, so there it is, doing the busted thing. Yep, get wrecked. Look at that. Historic Brawl, everybody. Oh, or I just lose because I cast a spell. My bad. That's my bad. I forgot I'm not allowed to cast spells. They still can take an extra turn. Bro, what the? This is just so dumb. This is just so dumb. Whatever. How? It's ridiculous. All of that because I didn't play around Meta Drain. I should just play it safe emotionally and call it quits now. Because you know what's going to happen the next 5 games? There's going to be a wall of, oh look, mono green. Which is kind of an auto loss. I'm over it. Enjoy. 1 into 3. You got it. Oh look, chat, it's a 1 in 3 again. That is just so fun. Mono green, 1 into 3. 2 games in a row. You think it'll happen again? Let's find out. It did happen. It was in the works. Oh look! Well, wait, we didn't see the 3 yet. We didn't see the 3. Wait for the 3. Not quite. Still just playing 2 Menace versus a turn though, so that's fun. Well, I'll be honest with you, being on the draw is just not ever good for this deck, and it keeps happening. What do you have? Pact the Negation? What is that? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. None of this matters, but I guess I'll cast this one. They still have some kind of wash away or something. Let's play this, I guess. Play Winter Moon, act like it matters. Maybe I shouldn't have played Winter Moon. Yeah, I could have held on to Winter Moon. It doesn't do anything against my opponent. And it could be a Tezzeret trigger. So maybe a mistake there. Maybe a bit of a mistake. Urza's Cave. We can now play... No, we should... Wait, I can play both, right? Yeah, I can play both. Okay. I could just minus this. Oh, actually, what I can do is plus on the convert. Okay, we can plus here. No, I should plus here, so actually the damage doesn't matter. I'll just put a counter on our creature. Could have held the ingot for this next turn. Don't think it really matters, but I could have done that. Alright, well, I'm in play. I have cards in play. Alright, look at that, we did it. We beat something that I just don't think I have any business beating, but... Alright, they even had the One Ring. I don't like the mono red stuff, though. Opponent can play the most jank thing of all time and probably just get away with it here. I don't think I'm playing that either. Yeah, there's no real reason to play it, so I'm just not going to. Like, it mana efficient, yeah, but I don't need it in play for any real reason. Let's see. Beginning of combat for each aura and equipment attached to this. So I can play Winter Moon, and that feels like it harasses my opponent's mana base kind of significantly. So I'm going to take a turn to do that. Because that feels really good. Look at that! We did it! It actually just stopped my opponent, I guess. Does this make you sack artifacts, or is it just creatures? Artifact, creature, enchantment, land... Oh, and it's lands. I really wish Ornithopter was anything but Ornithopter right now. I cannot keep this. Does not seem like it would get me anywhere, so yeah, we're not keeping this. Well, we got another reader. Okay. Maybe a good sign. You don't necessarily have to be familiar with the Tezzeret matchup to... do stuff. Okay, that's one land. Ooh. Well, I can't mulligan it, so... Go here and here? Alright, well, we're doing it again. It's happening again. I didn't blitz mulligan for it, it just showed up. I'll take it. If they have... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh. Oh, they played an artifact land. You gotta be kidding. Okay, they didn't sack it. They didn't sack it. That is actually pretty fine. Yeah. Okay. And then play the old pass the turn strategy. This is gonna die, but it is in play. I still need... Alright, we did it. I don't know why they didn't make me sack a creature. Seems like a colossal mistake from the opponent, but we take those, so... what would I minus into? I don't really know. So let's just play the Mystic Forge. Rather not take 2 damage, but I should probably play my cards. If I aim to do stuff that involves things. There's no real attack here. Sure. I think I can just not afford to pay 1 life. Okay, maybe I have to now. Yeah, alright. Block that. The attack can kill the cutthroat, so we can probably get stuff done here. 1, 2... Okay, always go into combat. Have to effectively kill this thing. Too low to let it continue to touch me. 1, 2, 3... I'm gonna draw this. Yeah, we're gonna draw this. If I get to it, I win. Can I get to it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Nope. Lands, lands, lands. Ay, ay, ay. Stop with the lands, please. I don't know... Okay. Go away. I could have gotten Spear. Could have gotten Spear. I'm not dead if I play this, so... Oof. Oof. Okay. Well, they had to think about it, so I'm going to assume they don't immediately have lethal here. Alright, no more Ancient Tomb. The ultimate on my, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's not enough. I have to get Spear? Yeah, I have to. Okay. Beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creature, sacrifice. Okay, so here, do this. We have the combo engine in play, but I am at 1. So it's not super... Ooh, wait, can I cast this without dying? Technically. They'll probably concede to this card. Yeah, because now they can't kill me for a turn cycle. They'll probably just concede. Oh. No, never mind. Never mind, they had an answer. So I was never going to swing with the, I was just never going to swing with that, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. I don't really think I like Karn. Karn is mana neutral, so I can probably just keep it. Should I start tapping the One Ring? Find Ujin, win the game? Yeah, okay. We're all in here. We're just all in. We're just all in. It's extremely difficult to lose from here, I think. That's what my emotions are saying. We've seen people do this for quite a while, so... They want to play it out, so I will. Yeah, we have ways to not die to the ring in our deck. Unfortunately, yeah, I can't push QQ like the auto tapper will cause a problem there. Because of the Ancient Tomb. Oh, wait a minute. I have protection from the Ancient Tomb. I can just tap it. Alright, now we can just push QQ. I have protection. Alright, yeah. Now we just win. Oh, hey, an extra turn. Who doesn't like an extra turn? Oh, I have protection. No! No extra turn. Alright, we can probably start tapping the One Ring again. One would argue I probably should have never stopped, but I mean, I'm never going to fizzle here. Just have to find the steel. $32 cards left. It's not in my hand, is it? No, I don't see it. Really? It's not in my hand yet? Alright. I'll keep looking for it. Unless it is in my hand, then you know, ruh-roh. Ruh-roh spaghettios. Alright, I'm running out of time. Now I actually have to find it for real, for real. Third from the right? What do you mean? I don't see it. It's in my hand, though? For real? Okay. So, where is the sculpting steel? There it is. Alright. Alright, we're good. Oh no. No, the timer. Please. Dang it. Alright, ran out of time. Ran out of time. Alright, opponent, what do you got? What do you got? Can you beat all of that? I probably could have had a handful of lands, and, like, I don't even... yeah, actually, I did find a handful of lands randomly. That's kind of funny. Doesn't really matter, though. Yeah, their only out was the One Ring killing me, but I found a new one. Good thing you said that. I just completely lost track of it. Sure. Yuki. I have Omniscience, so that doesn't quite do anything. Oh, they can Field of Ruin me because of the Power Stones. That's hilarious. Probably blow up the Vault. I don't think the Fair matters. Okay, they do blow up the Fair. I would probably blow up the Vault because I have so much mana I can find any card in my deck. But it probably doesn't matter which one they do. Alright. Probably doesn't matter. Untap. Reanimate this. Opponent isn't actually quite dead. Oh, they're over it. Yep. So these cards are really good. If this gets anything but Glaring Flesh Raker, this hand is really good. But if it does get Glaring Flesh Raker, it's not looking great. Ornithopter again, jeez. Okay. Of course, no answer to that. Well, on the bright side, I can't lose to my opponent's cards next turn. So that's pretty cool. So, land this thing. Do that. Alright, we finally did it. We'll see how much it matters, but we did do it. I also get to kill my opponent's Ujin, which is kind of significant. Okay. Alright, so anything but Glaring Flesh Raker would be really nice with this Faceless Agent. Anything but Glaring Flesh Raker. Okay, that is really nice. Let's just play this again. No. I can sort of get a second ultimate, but I don't really see why that, or like what that does. Could just get Wayfarer's Bauble. That's fine. Have to sack it now if I want to do anything with the mana. And I do, so. Combat. Ornithopter, get in there. Huge. Ornithopter has been MVP here, which is so funny. It keeps showing up in all the games I'm playing. I don't know why it likes me so much. Alright, opponent has a lot of mana, but they would need an Eldrazi to have all that matter. Otherwise it doesn't matter. They have a bunch of mana. Sure. Just have that card instead. Why not? They did not tap the Palladium Mirror. Weird. So, steal my opponent's cards. Do I strip mine anything? I can strip mine Inventor's Fair. I probably should. Probably should. One would argue. Yeah. Probably a good idea, so I don't lose to whatever that could do. Alright, well, it's here. I will animate the Forsaken Monument because it no longer matters and I want to kill my opponent. I think that would be a really good idea, so I need to force out the lethal. They get Faceless Agent, which probably just gets Eldrazi. It has to be Ulamog, and it has to have found an Eldrazi. Looks like it did not. Okay, opponent's going to 1? We're doing it? Does this give haste? Nope. Play this. Opponent's going to 1. Is there anything to Buried Ruin? No, there really isn't. I do get a second ultimate, but I just don't think that's super amazing. But hey, it's a thing I'm doing. So, we'll take it.
At this point, I'll animate that, and more counters here. I'm not going to animate the ghost vacuum. The ghost vacuum should keep the portal from winning, if it isn't already doing that. They're at 1 life. I have 5 lethal threats. It's not enough. This doesn't generate colored mana to play whatever it gets. Oh, but they can make treasure tokens, actually. Which they do. They'd have to specifically find the sweeper, I think? It has to be the sweeper. Okay, now it's any option, but you don't have enough to cast any seriously threatening thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 and an artifact, 6 a non-artifact. I think we're getting there. I think it's happening. Okay. Ulamog doesn't do it. Emrakul doesn't do it. Emrakul doesn't do it. Emrakul does not do it. Neither Emrakul does it. Alright, the One Ring buys them a turn, but it doesn't... They can't tap it. They can't tap it. This last card is a creature. We know that for a fact. I'm not going to animate the other artifacts. If I crack my own Ghost Vacuum, I still have a chance to hit Glaring Flesh Raker, and I don't believe hitting Ulamog even does anything. So, I'm just going to go to combat. There's not a lot that does it here. Do I cast my commander? Panharmonicon? Can I do both? I can do both. Okay. I don't know why they're suddenly really slow. They only have 1 card. They can't tap the One Ring. Is my opponent just upset they lost to Tezzeret? That's funny. I don't know. I mean, they're here and then they're also not here. I don't know what's causing such rocket science. I can actually triple ultimate. We're gonna just find another part. Yeah, we're gonna find another thing to put into play. Let's put Mishra's Bauble into play? No, let's put I can't play that. Alright, let's play Expedition Map. Put that into play. So we have even more threats. We have even more threats here. Colorless is going to struggle to deal with all of those threats. Alright. Still have Portal checked. It's Kozilek. That was the one I was in no way, shape, or form thinking about. Alright. That one wasn't the... That was the only one I didn't talk about, which is funny. It was actually the only one that really does anything. Alright. I still don't think it can do anything that stops me, but that is certainly funny. That is certainly funny. Alright. Not even the good Kozilek? Yeah. These cards are not colorless. The cards that generates. Opponent has 5 mana. Okay, so they have a lot of colorless mana, but they still don't have colored mana. Still don't have colored mana here. Wait, you can just cast it colorless? I lost this game? Are you kidding me? I lost this game. My opponent just... They literally just drew the nuts off of the Eldrazi I would never recommend any deck play. That's crazy. That's unbelievable. Wow. Alright. Unbelievable. That was just a godsend top deck there. That was insane. Mindstone is... Oh, Wintermoon also can be good. Okay, anything but the Esper Sentinel would be ideal. Not gonna cast this? Not gonna cast this. Maybe I should, because I didn't hit a land, or I don't have a land in my hand. Yeah, maybe that would be the reason to do it. Of course, I don't draw a land. Why would I? I can play that into that. So, we're just doing this. Like that. Well, for this deck, it's quite significant, because I'm not winning any games. So it's really frustrating that I slipped a victory. Alright, now that we played Wintermoon, I'm sure the 4-colored deck will now only play basics. Yep. The first of each basic is... Oh, doesn't surprise me, but... Still not good to see, obviously. Land... Mana Rock... Yeah, let's, still try to play around. Okay, no luck. So still to play around, oh wait, no, that was the, excuse me, that was the last opponent. That was the last opponent, it's not this one. My games are so similar, they're bleeding into each other. That's funny. Alright, they're looking for probably Arcane Signet. I would probably just get Arcane Signet. It kind of nullifies the Wintermoon a little bit. Would make sense to me, at least. Feels like the easy choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can almost just full stop cast Ujin. They did not get Arcane Signet. Wow. Why not? I don't understand. Alright, well, I mean, this is extremely good here, so I'm going to cast it. And I'm going to plus. Alright, look at that. We're secretly Ujin. We weren't even Tezzeret. Don't care. Cloudkey can name creature with a ridiculous hand like... Ah, that's still just not a good idea, though. Oh, maybe it is, actually. Okay, it also might not matter to any capacity, honestly. So here... What does this do? I have to actually read it. Combat. Your choice, counter or charge counters. And then... Everything's hexproof and indestructible. Right. This one actually does kind of look promising. I drew one of the best things ever. Opponent has only one land that I can... Sundering Titan. Sundering Titan is definitely the worst card in my hand, so... Be gone. Let's play you? No. Play this? Make... the thing? Which would be a 2/2? It's kind of ugly, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's pretty ugly. Alright, I'll just plus it. Yeah. Worst case scenario is I just get a land, so... Oh, we did get a land. Nice. Take that. I don't know if I would ever give my opponent this. They chose not to. They do have Ghost Vacuum, so maybe they don't care about this, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's an artifact for this and stuff. When's the last time I played this Karn? Remember when this Karn first came out, it was like $70 for like 2 weeks, and then it tanked, because it had no home. It had no home in like Standard or Modern or anything. But the hype behind that card was cataclysmic. I'll tell you that much. Cataclysmic hype. Alright, they have one of the few mana in producing things, because of course they do. They went from being an honest beatdown thing to now doing the strongest thing you can do in the format, which is ramp endlessly. So they're playing 3 mana sources a turn, effectively. So I cast my commander. It probably dies. Probably. Can I do anything else? No, not really. Nope. I can harass my opponent with another plus? No, let's just... I mean, I'm gonna cast this. I don't know. Okay, do that. Untap this. Play this. Actually. Let's pick up the... Relic. Do I play this? I probably should play this, yeah. I probably should play it here. One would argue it's probably a good idea. Yeah, Eldrazi's not the majority creature type anymore with my my deck, because these are in my hand. Let's just do this out of sheer spite. This is creature only though, right? Yeah. Yep, just losing to mana. What are they doing over there? What are they doing? I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Pretty good thing with Tezzeret. I guess I'll cast it. I think Cloud Key's now going to name creature? 1, 2, yeah, I probably should. I don't even need it to name artifact, so I just don't need it to name artifact here for any reason. Can put a counter on the Ornithopter, which I think kind of matters. There's nothing really else to do, so that's what I'm going to do, I guess. I mean, everything I'm doing looks kind of interesting, but my opponent still has Astral Cornucopia with infinite charge counters, which is nullifying everything I've done so far. One, two, three, four, short. One, two, three. Yeah, I mean, this was a good draw. It was a land find as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, a land would have been fine as well. It didn't have to be this. Mana, 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 mana. Take action. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, well, I just top decked egregiously. I mean, this is just truly a game-winning line, I think. So, boop, boop. Yeah, that was a game-winning line for sure. Alright, well, I offset my opponent's Cornucopia with, just drawing 2 Soul Rings back to back. But that doesn't really solve the main issue, I feel. Yeah, that doesn't actually solve the issue. If anything, it presents a new one. So, oh look, they mulliganed to 5 just for this. No way. Just for the turn 2 Helga. Can you believe it? It only makes sense, right? What else is there to do? Tap here, this. Okay, well, they can't tap Helga if they want to stop my card from doing stuff. Alright, well, this is a God tier 5. Let's do this now. Ancient Tomb doesn't change that much. I think I have to keep it, though, because of Ujin in my hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't cast it. If I didn't scry, I could cast Ujin, but I scryed, so I can't. Untap this thing, just to play this. Okay, painful mana base, but you know, that's what we're here for. This is a God tier 5 mold 5. But maybe I can do anything. Ujin would really like to have a card to go with it. That would be ideal. So, we'll see. Apparently it isn't obvious. Oh, wow. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't expect that. I guess it makes sense. I can technically ultimate, but I don't know where that's going for me. Let's proliferate, because we have two things that kind of want me to proliferate. It looks like they have Tail's End? Do we think that's Tail's End? It's kind of giving me Tail's End vibes. Oh. Okay, sure. Does that change anything? I feel like it doesn't. But we'll see. I feel like that doesn't change much. Is this sorcery? No, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Let's put counters on random treasure. Yeah, right? Does that make sense? Of all the cards in my hand, that does... No, actually, we can do it here and then, like, block and sack it. That feels decent. Okay, I can't cast spells, but I do have a bunch of mana. If Vaultborn Tyrant's my opponent's only play next turn, then I'm not terribly concerned with my situation. We are still currently winning in hand, so that's ideal. Doesn't take much for the mono green deck to nullify that and turn it around. Huh. We get to keep Tezzeret. That's unlikely. Okay. What is the idea of this? Why did they do that? I don't know. I do not know. That would have actually been a really good card to have in your hand. So that was very strange. Very, very strange. Mana Confluence. Okay. Turning the Urza's Cave into a different land here doesn't do that much, so I think I'm just not going to. Let's just draw a card. Let's just draw a card. I would get Ancient Tomb, but it's already in play, so... Okay, let's play this. Yep. Okay. I don't really like tapping this for mana. Maybe I just will. Alright, yep. Ujin is just too much. I could have went for Ulamog, but it... probably not a good idea. Is a thing. I'm kind of surprised it even pits me against Tifa. That's very strange. Does not feel good to play against that. I'm gonna just pass. Actually, I don't think I can beat this. Can we beat this? I don't think we can, right? I don't think I can beat this. Yeah, this feels like just a snooze fest waiting to happen. I might actually full stop be dead next turn. So I don't think I can beat Tifa whatsoever, like in the slightest. Even on the play with Ancient Tomb. Let's see, Ancient Tomb, I don't know what the best hand looks like, but it does involve Ancient Tomb. Okay, so Ancient Tomb Gemstone Mine, but that would be on the draw, which doesn't really do anything. I suppose you would take the draw with Gemstone Mine, Ancient Tomb. So then I could play Tezzeret, turn 1. Goes to my opponent, they play Tifa, goes back to me. I play a 4-mana card. Let's say it's a Mana Rock. Goes back to my opponent, they kill my commander, or they kill me, and I still lose. I think the best case scenario, like the best hand against Tifa, I still lose. Right? I think I do. That's kind of crazy. I think that is legit what would happen there. Oh, let me think about it more. Oh, look, it's mono green again. How exciting. So, on the play, they play the forest. We have Gemstone, Ancient Tomb. We play Tezzeret. Next turn, it goes to 4 mana. They play Tifa on turn 2. They also can't have a Mana Dork. They can't have a Mana Dork. It goes to our turn 2. We untap. We play another land. We, Let's get a... I have to think for a second. Let's get a map. We play... I don't know what's next. We have 4 mana. We play a 4 mana Mana Rock. Either I die instantly because my opponent has Tifa, or they kill Tezzeret and it's gone. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can go into Ujin. Okay, so there are some viable lines that involve cards that we could technically play and maybe sort of matter. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, might as well play this. If I can race to Ulamog, I can maybe beat the... whatever this deck does. That combo thing. Oh, or they just have Chromox and nothing I did mattered. That works too. I don't know why they're playing Labyrinth. That's odd. Wait. Okay, that's not the combo thing. Okie dokie. Still just pays for itself every time, just like Golos, so it's nigh unkillable. Let's play a bunch of mana. Do I kill it? I think I should still kill it so they don't just spam Cascade into complete and utter clown universe. I have no idea the last time I kicked a Skyclave Relic. I actually have no idea. Let's tap that. Let's do this. Ancient Tomb. Strip Mine does not seem remotely productive, so I'm just going to play this and do that. Top card is Poop. That is castable. Put it on the other Mystic Forge? Sure. This is also castable. Alright, this is one of the best games I've had so far. But unfortunately it's against a Modi that had Chromox. But I did cast spells, and they can potentially matter. How exciting. I'm gonna get rid of the cave here for sure, I think. When it gets Pock. They already played their land? Oh, maybe they didn't actually. No, I don't think they did. Okay, maybe they don't have a land, or they did. I don't know. I wasn't paying so much attention. Land, land, land. Land, 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 land. Jeez. Okay, it might not matter, though. Might not matter. Okay, huge, huge. Ultimate for the sake of it, but not quite necessary at this juncture. Alright, we did it. We beat Mono Green Ramp. Look at that. It wasn't the combo one, though. If it was, I think I would have lost. Although it wouldn't have Chrome Mox. So, really not good for us. Really not good. At least they haven't all just played a Mana Dork on turn 1. I'm not going to play the Ghost Vacuum. Oh wow, just no green at all. Alright. Best case scenario. We take those. Oh yeah, I never actually changed my wastes. I said I was going to, I never did. That is not when you play... Oh wait, yes it is. Yes it is. I thought it was the other one. Okay. Kind of weird. Kind of strange. I'm into it, I guess. Let's play... this... Wait. Land? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. Here. This is as, like, late as it gets for the ultimate to be relevant, so we might actually get away with something here. But we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. That was about as late as I feel you could probably whip the ultimate out and have it be scary, right? My opponent does... It might even still be just too late. I mean, my opponent conceded to it, but they're going into 5 mana as a green deck, and... I don't know. They just didn't play green. It was... They did the other 2 colors, which... I can't imagine is what this commander really wants you to be doing. I feel like green is just the best thing to do here, but yeah. The Mind Sensor doesn't do anything against us except Tezzeret minus. I'm over it. I'm tired of just doing nothing. Alright. So, you do win with this sometimes. It is kind of satisfying when the card, like the text of this, comes up, not simply just trying to blitz to the weird -7. If we ever get something like Soul Ring, this could actually be pretty scary. But as it stands, it's just not going to do anything against most of anything. In Standard, I don't think you can even entertain the idea of colorless strategies. So it kind of has to be colorless in Historic Brawl only. But yeah, there was a few opponents that weren't green, but for some reason, I had 3 or 4 massive walls of mono green opponents, all back to back, and all of them had a 1-drop and they went 1 into 3 or 2 into 4. If either of those things happen to you, you lose. It doesn't really matter what they do with the mana afterwards, as long as it's spent on anything, you lose. So all of that is going to make you lose. And that doesn't even consider Tifa. Tifa is mono green, but it does have, you know, the I win on turn 4 or I win on turn 3 sometimes situation, which doesn't really necessarily involve mana. But Tifa doesn't care about this at all. It can actually just completely and utterly ignore it and swing at you over the course of 2 turns if the first attack didn't kill you. So Tifa kind of takes an exception to the all your opponents are mono green rule, because its style of mono green isn't necessarily ramp, even though it does use ramp spells to kill you. So, you know, it is what it is. It was literally a wall of that, right? It was Azusa, loot, the other thing. It doesn't matter if your opponent is all 5 colors. If green is in their deck, you're probably going to lose if they have land or elves, even if they're on the draw, right? And that's just the format as a whole, and that doesn't make this possible. This is not a commander you should ever play unless you're just trying to be funny or something. I knew that going in, but it does kind of feel bad to sit there and lose for 3.5, or well, I actually didn't make it to 3 hours. It for like, hours and hours just losing to your opponent and just watching your opponent play the game while you do effectively nothing. So that's, you know, I just suffered for other people's sake, I guess. But this you just can't play this. Every time my opponent has it, I don't care. The only time it's really, really good, or maybe just solid, is if you have an Ancient Tomb opener. Sometimes I had Ancient Tomb on turn 1 into, Mind Stone or something, and my opponent immediately conceded, because that is a lot of mana, and that's just the format. The only thing that really matters is mana. Unless you're super fast aggressive. The only thing that really matters is mana, right? It's been like that for quite a while. I basically say that every single video. It's just the mana. And the mana in Colorless doesn't really complement a 3 mana commander. If this was like 5 or 6 or more, and it had scarier text on it, it could certainly be viable, just like Ujin. Right? The only reason Ujin is playable is because of the mana. If you kind of want to play 2 mana sources a turn. If you're not doing that, you're just not doing the best thing that Ujin wants to do, right? This doesn't really get complemented by doing the best thing to do, which is play multiple mana sources a turn, other than the first few turns. And there's not a lot of those hyper blitzy fast turns mana-wise in the first few turns for Colorless. You can play 2 mana sources a turn, but you're leading up to really nothing of consequence, where, Ujin's not in your command zone. So it doesn't really work out too well. The -3 is definitely the most interesting part of it. The 0 untapping mana rocks did come up a couple times, actually. But leading into the -7 is just awful. Like, all the games I played, if I had 55 1-mana cards, and I was guaranteed to put this into play on turn 2 every single game, if I had Ancient Tomb for free every game, played this on turn 2, or my opening hand every game, played this on turn 2 every game, and had a wall of 0 and 1 mana artifacts to race to the 7, that's just, I would say that's worse than whatever I was trying to do. And I don't think making a 3/3 or a 6/6 and then it slowly becomes like a 9/9 is winning any game against any opponent at all ever. Even if it's indestructible. Most decks are not going to care, where is it? This thing, or they're not going to care if you have a 12/12 indestructible creature. Now, if you give it trample with the spear, we ended up actually adding the spear, which, again, there's other issues about this, but if you have the spear to find with this, with your giant creature, you also get life gain with it, trample lifelink, that could matter, but that only does something if you're building a giant creature and it didn't get exiled, or your opponent is just taking the damage once or twice, or actually sometimes 3 or 4 times, and just ignoring it effectively because you didn't present true lethal. It just went to 3 or whatever, and then they just kill you with whatever it is they're doing instead. So even if you do make indestructible artifact creatures, there's not a lot of ways to make multiples. You kind of can. I had more than one indestructible card that I could make indestructible in a creature at the same time, but you kind of need more than one. Like, the first one doesn't feel like I'm just simply winning, right? My 9/9 or my 12/12 indestructible is not winning really on its own. If I'm ever animating something that is not indestructible, it is vulnerable to basically the other half of the format, which is just removal. So that's not great. Yeah, the -7 doesn't really have any good scenarios. It just really doesn't. And yeah, the plus is sometimes good with mana rocks. If you want to look at this commander as a goofy mana rock, you can, and I kind of feel like that would make sense. The 0 can untap mana sources. The -3 can find stuff like Wayfarer's Bauble, which is just more mana, or that's really about it, honestly. I mean, Expedition map, you can find that and then get Ancient Tomb and stuff, but it's slow, but, you know, it's just like a goofy mana rock, and that's okay, but you don't really have a commander. There's plenty of opponents who actually just sat there and read this thing because they'd never seen anyone play it before, which is funny to me. It's like, yeah, what does this actually do? And then sometimes people actually, the more they read it, like you see your opponent mouse over it, the more they actually read my commander, the less they cared about it and would just go face instead. Because this is just egregiously terrible. It is nice we have another Ultima, though. Actually, oh yeah, Ultima itself is kind of a very, very scary mana rock in the command zone, right? It costs more mana, but if you untap with this, then you're just going into very scary things. Just kind of like, you know, Forsaken Monument in the command zone. So you would rather have this in the command zone, right? And we do have it. We have this. We have this now to put in the command zone. If you want your commander in your colorless deck to be a mana-producing threat, then, you know, you're going to have to just bite the bullet and play something that costs 5. And that's okay. I think this is solid. This is a lightning rod. It essentially has to die, otherwise your opponent is susceptible to you just untapping and blasting them in the face with really anything that costs like 8, 9, or 10, sometimes even 12, 14, like you just blast your opponent with whatever. But yeah, this in isolation doesn't really do anything, but yeah, we need something like Soul Ring to be added to the game. Because we... Oop, I don't know what I just did. Something got moved around. Because we do have... Oh, that was what it was. Ancient Tomb. I'm kind of expecting us to, at some point, get Soul Ring. I still feel like Ancient Tomb is kind of just as good, sometimes better, than Soul Ring. And if they're willing to put Mana Drain, Dark Ritual, Ancient Tomb in this format, I would expect at some point them to put Soul Ring in this format as well. This is effectively timeless. I mean, yeah, that's another thing I've said repeatedly. And this was an example of this format just being timeless, which means you can't get away with goofy stuff like this unless we get the cards that support this, like Soul Ring. And I'd keep a lookout for it. If Soul Ring does show up, this becomes maybe real. If you always get Soul Ring out of your command zone with this and just play it, that's actually kind of real. That's significant. Just simply Soul Ring. The one card. Just add Soul Ring, this completely changes everything. Having that every game with this. Now, you don't get Soul Ring, like, turn 1 or something, because, you know, you still have to pay for it with this, but that is a very, very significant thing, especially how this actually untaps the Soul Ring with the 0. So you can play with your own Soul Ring with the card that found it. Very strong card there. But yeah, we don't have that. So it looks not great. I'm sure in paper, people have tried this. Paper Brawl, if anyone actually plays that. You can't play this in EDH because it's a Planeswalker. But if... Wait, they said they're changing that. Did that actually get changed? I can't remember. Does anyone know? Yeah, alright. It doesn't appear to be the case. I kind of forget. Because they changed, like, vehicles and spaceships can be your commander. But it doesn't look like you can play these as commanders. I would be kind of surprised if they didn't change that. I don't know. In my head, I just assume it is. I've obviously played so much Brawl at this point that I call these commanders on accident all the time. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, let's say you're playing Brawl and you have access to the insane artifacts that are, you know, legacy legal or normal EDH legal. We're not restricted to Magic Arena card pool. This is actually probably okay. Alright, there's things it's truly doing beyond just Soul Ring as well. I think Mana Crypt got banned. But we have just way more tools. I thought about running the keys that untap artifacts. So you're just like, oh, find a key so you can untap your Power Stone. But you're kind of asking for a setup that demands your commander sort of lives even more
than mine was trying to live, and that doesn't seem productive. Really, I wouldn't say it's counterproductive. Maybe it's like adjacent to something. But yeah, the keys just maybe could have replaced this. Oh, it's an indestructible thing, but like some of these things could have been more optimal for this. Like again, the key. Like instead of Terrarion, I could have played Manifold Key. Is that the only one? I thought there was the other one. Is Voltaic Key. Oh, we don't have Voltaic Key. Oh, jeez. Didn't even know that. What about you? Okay, maybe not that. Yeah, all right, we don't have Voltaic Key, but I guess that one is okay with certain artifacts. Like, I don't know. Definitely not the most necessary thing. It's good with the One Ring, right? If you just use your commander for the -3 to find a good toolkit piece, you have to keep in mind, if you did -3 this for something that wasn't a 0-mana spell, this goes down to 1 loyalty, and if you pass back without any kind of creature presence, this is going to die to the most expected outcome being some kind of mana dork simply swinging into it. But if it's at 2 loyalty, having cast whatever you found, say it was a 1-mana artifact and you played it, you know, it goes to 2 and maybe it has a higher chance to survive. But yeah, like allowing this to live was another issue that just doesn't help you at all, was trying to find consistent ways to allow this to be something I untapped with when I went for it. There were plenty of games where once my opponent had some kind of board presence, it was no longer really viable to even try to cast this the first time if they were just too far ahead. But I would say at that point you're probably already conceding, because it's not really going to come back from those situations unless you have something truly insane to do, and well, whatever that true insanity is probably doesn't need Tezzeret anyways. So yeah, there's way too many issues in this format for this card to do anything at all. But if you like Colorless and you don't care, there you go. But can't recommend this. I can't recommend this to anybody. Except the true Colorless truthers who will play this just for the sake of trying it. That is it. That is a one play group that would maybe play this, but yeah, don't play this. Alright, well, let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.